Morning students, today we are going to see lesson 5 part D. Bring out the features of perfect competition. First point, large number of buyers and sellers. Large number of buyers and sellers implies that each individual buyers buy a very small quantum of a product as compared to that found in the market. Isn't it? We see in bulk, but we will buy only small amount of product. Homogeneous product and uniform price. The product sold and bought is homogeneous, that is single product in nature, in the sense that the units of the product are perfectly substitutable. Next one, free entry and exit. Free entry and exit means, as I had told you before, when you are going to shopping, you go inside the shop and you can come out without any pay, isn't it? In the short run, it is possible for the very efficient producer producing the product at a very low cost to earn supernormal profit. When you are going and buying the product very easily, it is at lower cost, there will be a supernormal profit for the producer, isn't it? When the product rate is very low, there is a supernormal profit. Next one, the absence of transport cost. Absence of transport cost, the prevalence of the uniform price is also due to the absence of the transport cost. That is, when there is no much transport cost, you no need to go long distance and buy the product. It is in the hands of the buyers in markets, isn't it? So we can get easily. So there is absence of transport cost. If you want to buy a textile, you don't want to go to Bombay or Surat and buy the product. You can get it in the markets in our places, our towns. Perfect mobility of factors of production. That is, the prevalence of the uniform price is also due to the perfect mobility of the factors of production. When the product you want is at the same price, means if there is no change in the price, no increase or decrease in the price, the same price, isn't it? So what is happening? You will buy the same product and there will be increase in the sales of the product. Next one, perfect knowledge of the market. All buyers and sellers have a thorough knowledge of the quality of the product. If you are buying a Bata product, isn't it? You know the knowledge of the product and the price of the product. For example, Bata products, slippers, handbags, anything else. No government intervention. In buying and selling in the market, no government intervention. Already, the producer would have paid for the government, the taxes, GST, all these will be paid, isn't it? So, when the buying and selling is going on, there is no intervention of the government of supply raw materials and in the determination of price. Nothing the government will interfere. Only the buying and selling will be done by the producer, the seller and the buyer. We are the buyers, isn't it? The consumers. How price and output are determined under the perfect competition. I will explain the question first. Price means the price fixing, rate is fixed. The output is the profit for the producer. And a perfect competition is a market. It's a type of market. Perfect competition means, as we saw, large number of buyers and sellers, homogeneous product will be there, free entry and exit is there, absence of transport cost, perfect mobility of factors of production, perfect knowledge of the market, no government intervention. All these are called as perfect competition. So in the short run, at least a few factors of production are fixed. That is, factors means land, labor and capital is fixed. Few factors are fixed, no changes in the factors. The firms under perfect competition takes the price 10 from the industry and start adjusting the quantities produced, isn't it? From the industry, they will get at a rate and they will keep for their other expenses and they will sell the product. For example, QD. QD means the quantity demanded. The quantity demanded is equal to 100 minus FIP, and QS is equal to quantity supply. 5 is equal to 5P. At equilibrium, QD is equal to QS. The quantity demand is equal to quantity supplied. Therefore, 100 minus 5P is equal to 5P. 100 is equal to 10P. If we take the 100 is equal to 10P, 100 by 10 is equal to P. That is QD. Quantity demanded is equal to P, isn't it? P is equal to 100, 10, P is equal to price, QD 100 is minus 5 into 10, that is quantity supplied. 10 minus 50 is equal to 50. Quantity supplied is 5 into 10 is equal to 50. Therefore, 50, so the demand is also 50 and the supply is also 50. So, there is a equilibrium in the buying and selling. In the process of the market under the price and output determination, perfect competition during short run. So you see the diagram. First diagram is given for the industry. First diagram is given for the industry. The x-axis is the output and y-axis is the revenue and cost. Revenue means income, cost means the expenses. About the price. So I will explain to you from the book. The equilibrium of an industry is explained in the first panel. Price is OP. OP. You see in the diagram OP. Okay. Then the equilibrium of an industry is obtained at 500 units of output. You see in x-axis, the output is given 500 units, isn't it? The second part, it is for the firm 1. That is, AC curve is lower than the price line. AC curve is lower than the price line. The L is the price line. The equilibrium condition is achieved where MC is equal to MR. The marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. The total revenue is 50 into 10 is equal to 500. Revenue means the income, how much money is coming inside. Its total cost is 50 into 8 is equal to 400. Therefore, its total profit is 500 minus 400 is equal to 100. So, the profit is 100 in the firm 1. Next, we will see about firm 2. The third part, firm's cost curve is above the price line. Firm's cost curve is above the price line. AC is greater than AR. AC is greater than AR. Its total revenue is 50 into 10 is equal to 500. Its total cost is 50 into 12 is equal to 600. Therefore, it's a total loss. So, the cost is becoming more, 600 rupees coming. And the revenue is only 500 rupees. So, there is a loss of 100 rupees. So, down you see it is explained about the explanation of the diagram is given below. The diagram consists of 3 panels. The 3 panels you can see in the diagram. The equilibrium of an industry is explained in the first panel. So what is the first equilibrium? That is 50 is equal to 50, equal, isn't it? I will explain to you. The demand and supply forces of all the firms interact and the price is fixed as 10. The equilibrium of an industry is obtained at 50 units of output. So demand also 50 and supply also 50. So it is equilibrium. Equal means equilibrium. In the second part of the diagram, AC curve is lower than the price line. The equilibrium condition is achieved where MC is equal to MR. Its equilibrium quantity sold is 50. With the prevailing price 10, it experiences supernormal profit. So in the second panel, in the firm 1, what is happening? They are getting supernormal profit. AC is equal to 8, AR is equal to 10. Its total revenue is equal to 50 into 10 is equal to 500. Its total cost 50 into 8 is equal to 400. So 500 minus 400 is equal to 100 rupees profit for the producer. In the third part of the diagram, firm's cost curve is above the price line. So above the price line means the price level is increasing, isn't it? The equilibrium condition is achieved at a point where MR is equal to MC. The marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. The revenue and the cost are equal. Its quantity sold is 50. So both are at same level. With the prevailing price, its experience loss AC is greater than AR. Its total revenue is 50 into 10. Its total cost is 50 into 12 is equal to 600. So the expense is increasing as 600. The income is only 500. Therefore, its total loss is 600 minus 500 is equal to 100. As profit prevails in the market, new firms will enter the industry. That is, when there is a loss, the one industry will go out. One firm or one producer will go out. What will happen? A new producer will come inside. Thus, increasing the supply of the product. This means a decline in the price of the product and increase the cost of production. What will happen? A new producer will come and new products will be brought into existence. Thus, the abnormal profit will be wiped out. Only there will be a normal profit will be there. Abnormal profit will not be there. Next, we will see about the perfect competition of firms' equilibrium in the long run. First, we saw in the short run. These are the short run firms. Now we will see about the long run. In our long run, all the factors are variable. In short run, it was fixed, isn't it? Here, all are variable. Variable means the land, labor, capital, and organization have some variables, changes. The LAC, that is long average cost curve, is an average envelope curve. You see the curve in the diagram, LAC. A long run average cost curve is envelope curve. It's the shape of envelope. It contains a few average cost curves. It is a flatter shaped one. So you see the LAC, long run average cost curve. So next we will move on to describe the features of oligopoly. What is oligopoly? Oligopoly is a market situation in which there are few firms selling homogeneous or differentiated products. market which there are few firms selling homogeneous or differentiated products. Under one roof, they are what are doing? They have many things are sold. For example, you can take a medical, isn't it? The medical means they will sell all type of tablets or medicines for the sickness. Oligopoly is a market situation which there are firms selling homogeneous or differentiated products. What are the features of oligopoly? Few large firms. Few large firms means very few big firms own the major control of the market. They have the control of the market. Next one, interdependence among firms. The price and quantity decision of a particular firm are dependent on the rival firms. So they will see the competitor. Rival means already I told you it's about the competitor, isn't it? They will see they are competitive. I am a shopkeeper, medical. I'm having a medical or a shop. Okay. So if my competitor is Y, so I will see his marketing, how he is selling the product at low price or high price. So according to that, I will change my price and I will get more profit. I will try to get more profit. Group behavior. The firms under oligopoly realize the importance of mutual cooperation. If two shops are there, means same shop, same selling products, what they will do? They will have a mutual cooperation. Cooperation. That is, we must not sell at both the person will discuss and they sell at the same price level. Then only they will get a regular customers. Advertisement cost. The oligopolies could raise sales either by advertising or improving the quality of the product. We know that, isn't it? In cable TV scrolling, by pamphlets, by notice on the walls, all these things are advertising agents. TV advertisements are there. The nature of the product. Perfect oligopoly means homogeneous products and imperfect oligopoly means heterogeneous product. Perfect oligopoly means homogeneous, single product selling. Imperfect oligopoly means heterogeneous product means many nature products. Next one, price rigidity. The rigidity means the expansion and contraction of the price, increase and decrease of the price level. It implies that prices are difficult to be changed, isn't it? If one person is increasing and the other person is not increasing, means what will happen? There will be a variation in the price level. What will happen? The people will go to the price to the shop which the price is very less. So one person will not get any profit and the other person who is having the shop will get more profit. The oligopolistic firms do not change their prices due to the fear of rivals, competitors' reaction. So they can't raise or increase or decrease the price level. Illustrate price and output determination and the monopoly. First we saw about the perfect competition. Now we are going to see about the monopoly market. That is a perfect competition means about the perfect competition market. Now we are going to see about the monopoly. A monopoly is one firm industry, therefore a firm, single person, single selling, single product. A firm under monopoly faces a downward sloping demand curve or AR curve. Downward sloping means normal production and normal sales. Since under monopoly AR falls, as more units of output are sold, the MR lies below the AR curve. That is, MR is lesser than AR. Marginal revenue is lesser than average revenue. The monopolist will continue to sell this product as long as his MR is greater than MC. That is, marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost. He attains equilibrium at the level of output when its MC is equal to MR. Marginal cost is equal to MR. Then only there will be a equilibrium. Equilibrium means both must be equal. The revenue and the cost must be equal. When the revenue is more and the cost is less, it is called as profit. When the revenue is less and the cost is more, it is called as loss. Beyond this point, the producer will experience loss and hence will stop selling. So the producer will go out of the market, closing his business. Let us take the following hypothetical example of total revenue function and total cost function. Total revenue function, it is done by the calculation. That is, how much income is coming for the producer and how much expense is made by the producer. Total cost function. TR, that is total revenue. 100 minus 100Q, that is quantity, minus 4Q, 2. 100Q minus 4Q, 2. And the total cost you see. TC is equal to Q3 minus 18Q2 plus 91Q plus 12. This is a calculation. Therefore, AR is equal to 100 minus 4Q, MR is equal to 100 minus 8Q, AC is equal to Q2 minus 18Q plus 91 plus 12 by Q. MC is equal to 3Q2 minus 36Q plus 91. When Q is equal to 3, AR is equal to 100 minus 4 So first the sum is given, isn't it? Now we are going to do the calculation. AR is equal to 100 minus 4 into 3 is equal to 88. You do this calculation and see in a note, in your economics note. AC is equal to 32 minus 18 into 3 plus 91 plus 12 by 3 is equal to 9 minus 4, 54 plus 91 plus 4 is equal to 50. It's better you calculate the sum and see. MR is equal to 100 minus 8 into 3 is equal to 76. MC is equal to 3 into 3 into 2 minus 36 into 3 plus 91 minus 27 is equal to 27 minus 108 plus 91 is equal to 10. This is the calculation for total revenue function and total cost function. Next we will see the diagram for the total revenue function and cost function. So as we explained, you see the diagram. That is, therefore a firm under monopoly downwards faces downwards, isn't it? I'll show you the diagram. You see the AR and MR curve sloping downward. And next one, MR is lesser than AR and MR is equal to greater than MC. So first point you say MR is lesser than AR and next one MR is greater than MC. Fourth point you see MC is equal to MR. All these things are given in this diagram. What we saw in the explanation is given in the diagram. From this diagram till he sells 3 units output. He means the producer. MR is greater than MC. The marginal revenue is greater than my MC means greater than the cost. So it is a profit. When he exceeds his output level, MR is lesser than MC. When MR is coming less down means it is loss. The monopoly firm will be in equilibrium at the level of output where MR is equal to MC. When MR and MC is equal, this is a profit level of equilibrium. The price is 88. So as we done the calculation, we can know the price is 88. To check up how much profit the monopoly is making at equilibrium output, the average revenue curve and the average cost curves are used. AC and MC curves are used. Average revenue curves and average cost curves. AC curve, average AR curve and AC curve is used. At equilibrium level of output is 3, the average revenue is 88 and the average cost is 50. So we can do the calculation here. Already we have done the calculation. The calculation explanation is given down. Therefore 88 minus 50 is equal to 38 is the profit per unit. Total profit, how they calculated? Average revenue minus average cost into total output. The average revenue is 88 minus the average cost is 50 into 3. Total output is 3, isn't it? So the profit is how much? 38 into 3 is equal to 114. With this we will stop this lesson. We finish this lesson 5 and from tomorrow we will start lesson 6. Thank you students. God bless you all.